The silent return for a long time no one had seen or heard from Earth. The Galactic Council believed that humans had vanished forever. Some said Earth had destroyed itself. Others said it was just a myth, a forgotten world, a weak species. But something was changing. At the edge of Sector 9, near the quiet gas planet Tauros, a large object appeared. It came slowly from deep space. No lights, no signal, no sound. It looked like a shadow moving across the stars. A patrol ship from the nearby station was sent to investigate. It was a small standard ship with 4 crew members. They were calm at first, just another strange rock maybe, or an old mining rig. But when they got closer, their calm turned to fear. This thing, it's not natural, one of them whispered. It's watching us. They scanned the object. It was massive, almost a kilometer long, smooth and black. No windows, no engines, no life signs. Suddenly, all the lights on the patrol ship flickered. Then darkness. Their systems died. Power gone, weapons useless. Communication cut. Before they could reboot anything, the shadow moved, and then they vanished. No distress signal. No wreckage, nothing. The station sent out a warning, a red level alert. The first in 500 years. The Galactic Council held a special meeting. Leaders from 20 species came together. The room was cold, silent. Fear had already entered the hearts of many. This is not a random event, one ambassador said. This object, it knew what it was doing. We need more information, said another. We cannot panic. But then an old archivist spoke. His voice shook, his eyes were wide. I've seen this before, he said. Long ago. In the war records. Before Earth disappeared. The room turned to him. This ship matches the old human design. But this is not the same. This is darker, stronger, angrier. Laughter came from a few delegates. Impossible. Humans are extinct. That is history. The archivist did not smile. He placed an image from the old wars beside the new scan. They matched. The laughter stopped. The council sent 2 more ships to check. Larger ones, heavily armed. They didn't come back. One of them managed to send a final image before disappearing. A black warship, sharp, silent, floating through space. Like a ghost, it had no flag, no markings, just a cold, smooth surface, and something even worse, a feeling. Like it was alive. And angry. That image spread fast. Across systems. Across planets. People stared at it in silence. And then the questions came. Is Earth back? Are the stories true? What do they want? But there were no answers. At a deep space research station, a scientist looked at the energy readings from the unknown ship. This is impossible, she said. The ship is using dark matter fields. But not just using, it's controlling them. That technology doesn't exist, her partner replied. It didn't. Until now. More sightings came in. Ships just floating, watching. Sometimes near planets. Sometimes deep in empty space. Always silent. One trader reported seeing one close to his ship. He tried to contact it. He got only static. Then he felt something like a voice in his head whispering, "You left us behind." He escaped. Barely. The council grew quiet. No decisions, no statements, no help. People across the galaxy began to feel something new. Not just fear. Guilt. The truth, long buried, was rising again. They remembered how Earth had asked for help during its final war centuries ago. The council had turned away, left them to die. No one thought they'd survive. Now, they were back, and they had changed. The footage from the missing patrol ship played again and again across galactic channels. One black ship, no windows, no sound, no heat. It just floated in space like a dark knife. Then everything turned white. The signal cut, and silence followed. For the Galactic Council, this silence was the loudest warning they'd ever received. They sent out a new order. Observe, but do not engage. But it was already too late. In just 3 days, 12 more sightings. were reported. The same pattern: black ships hovering near trade routes, research colonies, even peaceful farming worlds. They didn't fire. They didn't speak. They just appeared and stared. Some said they were scanning. Others said they were listening. One mining ship near the Eros belt drifted close to one of the dark warships. They tried to scan it from a distance. The scan bounced back, corrupted, not just unreadable, scrambled like the ship rewrote the signal. Then the crew heard it. A low it wasn't coming from the engines. It was inside their heads. Every crew member collapsed with intense headaches. One engineer screamed and clawed at his helmet. "She's awake," he said, over and over. She remembers. The ship drifted for hours before another patrol arrived. When rescue teams entered, the crew was alive, but quiet, silent, staring at the walls, whispering to themselves. No one knew what happened, and no one could explain what she meant. Back at the council, panic was rising. A few leaders demanded a full military strike, but the ancient archivist stood again. "If you fire first," he warned, "you will not fire again." A retired war general from the old Earth Wars stepped forward. His fur was gray, his eyes tired, but his voice strong. "I was there when Earth fell silent," he said. "We thought they were gone, but humans, they are not like us. They do not forget." He pointed at the new data. "These ships, they are not tools of conquest, they are weapons of memory." The room fell quiet. Then came the message. A deep space beacon lit up near the border of the Council's central territory. No signal, just light, bright, blinding. A single flash code, repeated over and over, old human Morse code. One phrase. "This is the silence you gave us." The Council gasped. The code was real, verified, human, ancient. Now there was no doubt. Earth was not dead, and it had sent a message, not in words, but in ships, shadows, silence. Galactic news channels exploded. Humanity, lives. Dark Fleet sends warning. Earth's revenge has begun. Even pirate lords and rogue fleets began to retreat from the outer systems. No one wanted to get close to the black ships. But something else happened. A small trade satellite picked up a strange pattern. Black warships were not moving randomly. They were forming a path. They were surrounding the Council's central systems, not with weapons, with presence. They were boxing the galaxy in. Without a word, a quiet captain on a science vessel said something that made her crew shiver. "They're not here to attack," she whispered. "They're here to watch us squirm." A new image came in. A warship floating above a dead moon. Words etched into the stone in massive letters, scorched by energy fire. "We are the children you left behind." Across the galaxy, protests broke out. Civilians demanded answers. Why did the Council abandon Earth? Why was the truth hidden? Some said Earth was betrayed by vote. Others said the leaders feared human growth, feared their speed, their fire, their passion for survival. Now the truth didn't matter, because Earth had returned, and they brought ships born not just for war, but for judgment. The Council made a choice, a dangerous one. After days of silence, fear, and strange signals, they decided to act. They believed the dark warships were just a scare tactic. They thought showing power would end it, so they sent a fleet, 300 ships, the best the Council had. Massive cruisers, dreadnoughts, fighters with top tech. Their target, the planet Velix 9, where one human warship had been hovering in orbit for 4 days. The warship had made no moves, no attacks, no signals. Just silent presence. That made the Council nervous. It made them angry. "This ends now," said the fleet commander. "We show the galaxy who's in control." The fleet jumped into orbit, shields up, weapons armed, and the black warship turned, slowly, to face them. It didn't move closer. It didn't run. It just stared. The fleet commander gave the order. "Fire!" Thousands of plasma rounds, beam weapons, and missiles shot through space, and then everything froze. The warship vanished. 1 second it was there. The next, it wasn't. The entire fleet looked around in confusion. Scanners went wild. Static filled comms. Then it happened. Space bent. Behind the fleet, space itself folded like glass. A tier opened, dark and endless. And from it, the warship returned. It was no longer silent. The hum returned, low, deep, angry. The first cruiser exploded before it could turn. A perfect hole punched through it like paper. The second ship tried to escape. Its engines died. The third ship fired blindly, and the shot curved away like the warship bent reality around itself. One by one, the Council ships were picked apart. No human voices were heard. No commands, no messages, only destruction. The human ship moved with impossible speed, faster than physics allowed, as if space itself obeyed it. In 5 minutes, half the fleet was gone. The rest tried to retreat. They spun up their warp drives, and the warship simply appeared in front of them, blocking every escape path. Then came a final message, cold and simple, not from a voice, from the ship itself, appearing on every screen, every display, every control panel. You fired first, we do not forget. A second later, the warship vanished again. The remaining ships were left floating, dead, powerless, silent. Only one ship had working systems, a scout vessel that escaped by accident. Its footage went viral within hours. The galaxy watched in horror. The warship hadn't just won, it had played with them. It never took a hit, it never needed backup. It wanted to be attacked. Now, the message was clear. Earth had returned, and its weapons were beyond anything the galaxy had seen. These were not warships. They were warnings. Far from the battlefield, in a cold council chamber, no one spoke. One senator dropped his datapad. His hands shook. We just made a mistake that may end us all. The archivist, now pale, looked out the window. Humanity never needed numbers, he whispered. They needed only to be remembered. Outside the window, a new signal flashed from deep space, not in words, in action. 12. Dark ships were now visible, around the Council's homeworld. No weapons fired, no threats made, just presence, watching, waiting. The video of the battle at Velix 9 spread across the stars. 300 ships had attacked, only one dark warship fought back, and it won, without damage. Across the galaxy, billions watched the replay again and again. The moment space cracked. The moment ships were torn apart like paper. The moment a human ship broke the laws of physics. People stopped laughing at the old stories of Earth. Now, they whispered them in fear. On trading stations, giant screens showed the words left by the warship. You fired first, we do not forget. Entire planets went quiet. Military leaders froze. Pirate kings vanished into hiding. Smugglers stopped moving. And above the Council's capital, 12 new black warships floated in orbit. Silent giants, unmoving, untouchable. No one could stop them. No one dared to try. The Council ordered its ships to stand down. No more attacks. No more mistakes. But fear. It spread faster than light. Across colonies, people started asking the same questions. Why are the ships not speaking? What do the humans want? Are we next? In the mines of a cold moon, workers stopped digging. They stared up at the stars. One of them pointed. A black triangle hovered far above. No engines, no noise, no light, just watching. On a water world near the edge of the sector, a cargo ship spotted something worse. A warship under the ocean, resting like a sleeping beast. When they scanned it, it responded with a pulse that shut down their engines for 12 hours. When they woke, they found one message carved into their hull. You watched us drown. Even children understood. The warships weren't just attacking. They were remembering. In the heart of the Council, panic turned into guilt. For centuries, the galaxy had told itself Earth was gone. Forgotten. Weak. Destroyed in a war they couldn't win. But the truth was different. Long ago, when Earth faced invasion, they called for help. The Council said no, not because they couldn't help, but because they feared Earth's growth. They feared human creativity, their fire, their hunger. So they let Earth fall. Or so they thought. Now the same Council sat silent as dark warships hovered above them. "They're not here for war," one old diplomat said, shaking. "They're here to make us remember what we did." Junior officer ran into the chamber with new data. "Another ship has arrived," he said. "Where?" the leaders asked. "Not where. When?" The room went silent. He placed a screen on the table. The image showed a warship coming out of a temporal fold, a time ripple. "They're not just using dark matter," the officer whispered. "They're using time itself." One of the oldest beings in the room, a creature who had lived since before the Council, stood up. "They're not ships," he said softly. "They are ghosts." News spread faster than the Council could control. People stopped trusting their leaders. They began studying human history, learning about Earth, watching ancient recordings of Earth cities, Earth art, Earth wars. And they saw the fire in human eyes. They saw what the Council feared. In a forgotten space library, a young alien found a page from an old Terran book. Read it out loud. "When we are silent, you will hear us. When we are gone, you will feel us. When we return, you will know why we left." No author was listed, but now the galaxy understood. Above every major system, black warships began to appear, not in attack, not in peace, just watching, like judges or executioners. Each one hovered for a time, then vanished, and where they left, something strange happened. The people became quiet. Shame filled the air, and stars, once bright and warm, suddenly felt cold. At first it sounded like static. Across 1,000 systems at the same time, every starship, station, and planet received a strange signal. No video, no image, just noise. Crackling. Faint. Almost nothing. But then it changed. A voice. Old. Cold. Human. "You turned away. You sealed our skies. You watched us burn." The galaxy stopped moving. Everyone listened. The voice wasn't angry. It was worse than angry. It was empty, like all the rage had already burned long ago, and only silence was left. In the Grand Council chamber, translators worked fast. "It's real," one of them whispered. "It's human." The archivist confirmed it. The voice matched old Earth signals. The speech pattern, the tone, even the breath. It was not AI. It was alive, a living human somewhere out there in the dark. The message continued. "We cried for help. None came. We died under your silence. But we learned. In death, in pain, in fire. We became what you feared most." On every screen a symbol appeared. A circle. Broken. Cracked in the center. Glowing red. It was Earth's last known emblem. Now changed. Darkened, twisted by time. In deep space, a science station detected the signal source. It wasn't coming from a ship. It came from a structure. A giant black ring, hidden behind a collapsed star. Silent, half-broken, but still active. It pulsed with dark matter energy, and it was broadcasting across the stars. One brave scout ship jumped closer. As they neared the ring, their screens lit up again. The voice spoke a final line. "We do not seek peace. We seek memory. And you will remember." Then the signal ended. But not the fear. Because now the galaxy knew. This was just the beginning. Far across space, on a dead planet where no sun had shone in centuries, another warship awakened. Black. Sharp. Resting under the ice for 500 years. Its eyes, deep sensors, opened for the first time, and the stars above shook. It joined the others. Silent, waiting, watching. Back in the core worlds, panic exploded. World leaders tried to calm their people, but the people were no longer listening. They began forming groups, movements. Some wanted to surrender to the Dark Fleet even if no terms were given. Others wanted to fight, even knowing they would lose. Some just sat under the stars, praying, waiting. One young alien mechanic working on a cargo ship whispered to himself, "They were like us. Long ago they asked for help, and we turned away." His captain looked at him. "We didn't do that," the mechanic stared back. "But we let it happen." On a cold mining moon, a child drew the warships in the dirt. His mother asked, "Why do you draw them so much?" The child didn't look up. He just said, "They're lonely." She didn't sleep that night. In the darkness between galaxies, something larger began to move. Bigger than a ship, bigger than a station. A black mass hidden for centuries. It was waking up, and it carried more than weapons. It carried the voice of Earth itself. They called themselves the Solar Dominion, the strongest military empire in the galaxy. 10,000 worlds, armies of machines, ships made of neutron alloy. Their leader believed no ghost from Earth's past could shake them. "We are power," he declared. "Let the humans come. We will burn their shadows from the stars." And so they did what the Council feared most. They sent a challenge. A broadcast was sent out from the Solar Dominion's homeworld. It showed their armada, 3,000 ships standing in formation like blades of light. The message was clear. "Come, Earth. Show us your strength." The galaxy held its breath. Some hoped the dark warships would ignore it. But deep in uncharted space, a signal pulsed once, then twice. Then the sky opened. 12 human warships arrived. No light, no warnings, just there, hovering just beyond the Dominion fleet. Black, cold, alive. They didn't respond to hails. They didn't scan. They just stared. For 3 minutes. Then the 12th ship moved forward, and space bent. Time stuttered. Dominion scanners went dark. Every ship tried to lock on, but their weapons refused to fire. Then came the sound, low, deep, like something ancient breathing for the first time. And then, the first strike. One Dominion cruiser, a kilometer long, cracked in half with no weapon fire, no beam, no missile. It simply broke, like a toy in the hands of something angry. A chain reaction followed. Ships exploded from the inside. Metal turned to dust. Fighters turned and fled, some crashing into their own fleet. The humans weren't attacking randomly. They were surgical, precise, like they already knew the enemy's weakness, as if they'd studied it for centuries. In 10 minutes, the mighty Dominion armada was gone. Ash floating, metal, silence. Across the galaxy, trillions watched the live feed. Then the message came. One ship, one signal. Same voice, same cold emptiness. You built empires on silence. We are the sound you buried. Now hear what you gave us. The Dominion homeworld began evacuation. Leaders abandoned their people, trying to escape through secret portals. But one dark warship arrived above the capital. No weapons fired. Instead, it sent an image, a burned city from Earth's past, one known only in human records, and a sentence. This is what silence looks like. That day was marked in history as the fall of pride, an entire empire silenced, not by force alone, but by memory sharpened into war. The council gathered again. No speeches, no excuses, no comfort, only one truth. Humanity had returned, and they were no longer asking for forgiveness. They were teaching a lesson written in fire. In the ruins of the Dominion fleet, one small black box floated among the wreckage. A signal beacon. It blinked once, then repeated a single phrase in a whisper. Only machines could hear, "We remember everything." They came without warning. Over the council's homeworld, a shadow stretched across the stars. Not one, not 12, but 100 dark warships all at once. Silent, perfectly still. every ship blacker than the void itself. The sky dimmed. People stepped outside their homes, looked up, and froze. For a full hour, nothing moved. No signals, no fire, no sound, just pressure, like the whole galaxy was holding its breath. Then, a light blinked on the lead warship, and for the first time in centuries, the galaxy heard Earth speak. Voice came through, calm, human and unshaken. Not a recording. A living voice. We never vanished. We waited. You left us in fire. You watched us drown. We remembered. The voice echoed across every system, every ship, every satellite. And then the warship sent a signal burst. The sky above the Council homeworld turned into a projection. It showed Earth. But not the blue Earth from history books. This one was blackened, burned. Ash floating through cracked skies. Ruins stretching across continents. Cities in dust. But then the image changed. From those ruins, machines rose, children trained in silence, ships built underground beneath storms and craters. Humanity had not just survived, it had rebuilt in the shadows. It had created a fleet powered by pain, loss, and silence. The voice returned. You called us dangerous. You were right. The warships above the Council planet moved, not to attack, but to reveal. Their hulls opened, not weapons. Windows, inside, faces, humans, alive, watching, listening, old men with tired eyes, young soldiers born in silence, pilots who trained without gravity, mothers who built warships with broken hands. They stared down at the Council, but their eyes did not hold hate, they held memory. One Council leader, shaking, stepped forward and sent a message. We thought you were gone, the human voice replied. You made sure we were. A pause. But we are here. We always were. The Council asked the question everyone feared. What do you want? Silence. Then, the voice gave its answer. We want no war, no rule, no revenge. We want only this, to remind every star that silence has a cost. The fleet turned slowly. Hundreds of warships moved in perfect formation. No sound, no light, no victory speech. Just departure. But before the last ship vanished into deep space, it sent a final message. We forgive nothing, but we remember everything. Then the sky cleared, and they were gone. Across the galaxy, nothing moved for hours. Then slowly, life returned. But everything was different. Statues of old Council heroes were torn down. New schools taught Earth's true history. New warnings were carved in stone: never turn away, never stay silent, and never forget Earth. Because now, every being in the galaxy understood. Humanity had not come to conquer. They came so they would never be forgotten again.